No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die.
Hello. Hello, little kitty.
Who's a little kitty? Who's a little kitty? Yes, you are. Gold pussy. Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface with my second dose, although that sounds kind of STD-ish, of videos for the day. This one, admittedly, should have come out about, I don't know, 3 hours ago. But you know how it is with Apex Legends. It's really good. It's a really good game. If they sort that monetization out, oh man, I'm going to absolutely go head over heels for this one. But when I do my videos about whatever topics it may be, whether it be Soldier Boy, and he's back with a new console, by the way, but I can't be arsed with him anymore. Whether or not it's EA, Activision, I think Ubisoft are under the radar right now, as in they haven't done anything massively bad, they're just generically arseholes. But whenever I deal with these, you could almost boil stuff down to a singular word. Ethics. A lot of it is ethics and how these companies act ethically, or not, as the case may be. We saw, throughout the course of the last couple of months, how EA and Bethesda and Activision have treated their customer bases, their respective customer bases. And it's with disdain, it's with disrespect, and they have complete and utterly separated themselves from us as people. And they now view us purely as entities to be milked for coin. And that is pretty much it. And one company that I've always had the utmost respect for, and one company that remains literally at the top of the tree in terms of how they conduct themselves as a company, how they conduct themselves when it comes to creating games, is of course CD Projekt Red. Creators of the Witcher series and the up-and-coming Cyberpunk's 2077's, innit? And I've always spoken highly of them because this is a company that makes games purely for gamers. And not only do they make games purely for gamers, they seemingly complete and utterly understand the mentality of the gamer. They know what gamers like, they know what they don't like. They know how to tell a good narrative while at the same time still being exciting. They know how to have blood and gore, they know how to have sexy laddies and tight butts and stuff. They know how to appeal to their audience. They know what buttons they need to push for us to be stimulated, entertained, engrossed. And it's almost a masterclass. They really are. It's almost a masterclass in how to engage an audience. And what's the result? Well, the Witcher series sells 33 million copies across all its 3 Witcher games. Something which is absolutely spectacular. And, of course, The Witcher 3, the latest and last of maybe Geralt's story, although I still think there's Witcher games to come sometime in the future, did the most. The Witcher 3 selling the most copies. So, as regards to a company and the way that they treat their customers, they treat us very well indeed. What is really interesting is how a company treats other people as well. I mean, we've heard of examples of companies which you'd be very surprised treating their staff, for instance, for argument's sake, very poorly indeed. And when it all starts to come out, it's, scratch the head time. Oh, wow, I just never would have thought that. But what about, let's say, Andrzej Sapowski, for instance? Now, Andrzej Sapowski is the person who created the Witcher series. He's the person who wrote the books. And it was CD Projekt Red that approached him about the license, to take the license of his books to convert to video games. Now, when it came to discussing money, he was offered two choices. He was offered royalties in the game, so if the game did well, then he'd get himself a cut of those profits, and of course, if it was to go on to make multiple, then he would just get even more and even more. Or he could choose to take a lump sum for selling the gaming license to CD Projekt Red. Now, rumour has it, and I'm not trying to be cruel here, but rumour has it, Andrzej Sapowski is a rather difficult person in real life. Very difficult to communicate with, but, you know, this might just be a front. He just might be a defensive person. Behind closed doors, he may be a pussycat. But he is on record of saying that he just thought the game was going to be a complete flop, and therefore he decided to choose the lump sum, which, as this article shows here, which I'll link for reference sake in the description box down below, because it's got a couple of things I'm referring to here, which equates to approximately $2,200. Now, that's not a sum of money to be sniffed at, but when you realise that the Witcher series has sold over 33 million copies, then yeah, he definitely chose the wrong box at the end of the game, and the banker is currently laughing. Is that still a thing going on? I don't know. So anyway, over the course of the years, he has voiced his dissatisfaction. He has voiced his frustration that he chose this option and he didn't go for the royalty. He didn't go for the profit share, shall we say. And yeah, he's blabbed about it. But one thing that you have to understand, even though he took the $2,200 and he could have made himself so much more, the success of the Witcher series has had a huge impact on him financially. Because suddenly, and I'm not being, again, unkind here, his books, which were pretty much localized to Eastern Europe at best, suddenly his books exploded worldwide. And people would be buying it everywhere. So royalties from his book sales would be way, way up. And they probably still are doing pretty well to date. He would also be much more in the spotlight, and therefore be invited to attend places, lectures, blah, blah, blah. All this kind of stuff, which again, pays pretty damn well. Then, of course, he would have recently made an absolute fortune when Netflix picked up The Witcher for a series, an upcoming series. Now, I got a feeling that that series ain't going to be anywhere near as good as the CD Projekt Red game, because it seems to be made by a bunch of massive lefties. But regardless of that, he would have made himself an absolute fortune from that. Getting the license to do something like this is going to make you a lot of money. And he would not. There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever. He would not have made that money from Netflix without CD Projekt Red, without them making the Witcher series so popular. Because although he created these incredible characters, Geralt, Yennefer, Ciri, Triss, my girl Triss, Shani, all these fantastic characters, although he created them, there's no denying that what CD Projekt Red did with the games was just mind-blowing. Their ability to tell these incredible stories, the way that they took the characters and wove them into their developed universe, interspersing it with lore here and there from the books itself, and just making what was an exceptional series. That was down to CD Projekt Red. That wasn't down to the sales of the books. That wasn't down to the characters from the books per se. It was down to the way that CD Projekt Red took those characters and developed them within their series. So even though he took the lesser of the two options, CD Projekt Red passively has made him a very, very rich man. So in October, I think it was, of last year, Andrzej Sapowski demanded $16.2 million from CD Projekt Red, saying that he deserved his cut from the Witcher series and hadn't been compensated satisfactorily. Now, CD Projekt Red, quite rightly, said, tough, no. we had a deal, you took your deal, and you don't have any grounds to make these demands. But CD Projekt Red still wanted to maintain good relationships with the person who'd granted them the license to make the games which have made them so successful. So, although he had made his bed and was lying in it, and although they had every right legally to turn down his demand for $16.2 million, CD Projekt Red and Andrzej Sapowski, or at least his legal team most likely, have seemingly been working behind closed doors, and they are very close, according to a Polish newspaper, in reaching a settlement where CD Projekt Red are actually going to give him some more financial compensation, even though they don't need to. Now, it has been reported as nowhere near to the $16.2 million that he's been demanding. But let's just say I've got a feeling that it's probably still in seven figures. I bet they're still probably giving him $1 million or $2 for that. Now, I could be completely and utterly wrong here, but just something, niggles at me to say that. Regardless of whether or not he is getting something which he is happy with. He is, and to be honest with you, when you have made all this money from Netflix, when you've made all this money from the sales of the books and everything else that have affected his life because of CD Projekt Red, that kind of hints that he probably hit a six-figure sum in terms of compensation. So we get right back to the beginning of the video. They didn't have to legally do anything, but they believed ethically, morally, it was the right thing to do to give this person more based off what he had actually done for their company, maintaining a good relationship with him and the person who had given them all their success, really. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have to earn that success, but sure, they gave CD Projekt Red the license to do that. And that, to me, just again screams class act. Just a class act of a company. Didn't need to. You wouldn't have seen EA do this. You wouldn't see Activision do this. And, of course, we're talking today where Disney have turned around and said, we're happy with how EA are using the Star Wars license. 2 games, 8 years. Both of them way off the mark. Yeah, they're ethically doing the right thing for gamers there. So CD Projekt Red, look, again, hats off to you because you didn't have to do it. It looks like Andrzej Sapowski probably is a little bit more greedy than he should be. And he's probably got enough to last plenty of lifetimes as is because of his passive earnings because of you. But you still stepped up to the plate and showed class once more. It's a company I'm just going to love for life. So there you go. Story time with Az comes to an end. And it is a good story. It is a great story. In actual fact, both stories today have been rather upbeat. CD Projekt Red being amazing. EA in trouble. Awesome stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.